Well, hello, welcome to I Love Gay today. And we are here with someone I've come to know primarily through LinkedIn as a content creator. And here I'm with Theresa Chaze. How are you?
Wonderful, Matt. Thank you for hosting me.
Absolutely. I've enjoyed some of your posts over the years but also coming to learn, because you've kind of created this production studio and so forth. You've kind of taken content creation to that next level with Kaleidoscope Film.
Well, Kaleidoscope Film and Television
Yeah.
I created it because as a writer and producer, I realized the best way to really control content is to, she who controls the playground and the toys makes a bigger difference.
Yeah. You get to set some of the rules. It's your sandbox.
Exactly.
Yeah. Yeah.
And you can invite the people in who you want to play with.
Yeah.
And that's how you really bring about diversity and inclusion
Yeah.
is you can she who controls the sandbox can invite whoever she wants to come play.
Yeah. Well, you're in an interesting place, and you're up in Traverse City, Michigan, right?
Correct. And
Yeah. So
if you hold up your left hand where your pinky ends, that's Traverse City.
yeah, that's a great place to spread that message. Not only diversity, but I mean that seems to be your main focus. Really working with women on women's issues and other kind of
Yes,
diverse topics.
I produce projects that are based on age, gender, and ethnic diversity.
Okay.
The goal is to break stereotypes,
Yeah.
especially for women, Native Americans, and veterans.
Yeah. Yeah.
And the LGBTQ community is also included in that.
Yeah.
We
Yeah.
were talking before the show, and I want to do a lot of firsts, but the goal is to get past the first
Yeah. Yeah.
and make diversity and inclusion normal and commonplace.
Yeah.
I want the, seeing I want to be able to brag that I made things normal and boring. Not the project's boring, but
Yeah.
having like Pete Buttigieg. He's him and his husband are making a wonderful difference.
Yeah. Yeah.
But and they're unique.
Mm.
But if you get 50 or 100 of the Pete Buttigieg and his husband, it's
Yeah.
like, yeah, so what?
Yeah.
And that's the kind of mentality I want to create. Not only, for, they'll be, for everybody. I want to be inclusive.
Yeah. Well,
And
you
that's
work.
how you change things.
Yeah, but you're working on a project now, a film project with Kaleidoscope. Is it called Completely Loyal to Me?
Yes,
Yeah.
it is a retro film. It is set in the 1950s. And the goal is first to entertain.
Yeah.
But I also want to remind people what it was like for women and the LGBTQ community in the 1950s.
Yeah.
If there hadn't been such a dreadful discrimination and threat to life for Samuel and William James to be a couple,
Yeah.
Samuel wouldn't have married Margaret. If there hadn't been such a discrimination and women being second class, Margaret could have showed her business chops
Yeah.
and gone out on her own. So when Samuel tried to basically control her like every other man, she wouldn't have killed him.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's, if, there hadn't been the discrimination, Samuel could have exposed Margaret, but if he had, she would have, exposed him as being gay, and they'd both be dead.
Yeah. Yeah.
So the goal is to, like I say, first to entertain, but I want to remind people what the 1950s were like.
It's
It
interesting.
wasn't leave it to Beaver. There
Yeah.
was
Yeah.
so McCarthyism, there was the Klan, there was so much discrimination,
Yeah.
and people have forgotten that in late night TVs, retro TV shows.
It's interesting because I just saw two shows back to back, two movies, and I was surprised. They're both British, but they both were basically that same exact common theme. One of them was called My Policeman, and
Mhm.
that's with and it became a very popular release on Amazon. but both of the movies are all trying to give us kind of a feeling or a sense of what life was like during the 1950s, specifically that
Mhm.
period of time, and how that is really, and they both of them juxtaposed into the modern day, so that people can see kind of, what they had to go through and the decisions they made, including marrying women in order to be able to fit into society and so forth. So it's
Right.
very interesting.
Well, when discrimination was so prevalent, it's still, it's still widespread, and it's getting worse again.
Yeah,
A lot of men married women to protect themselves.
yeah,
And a lot of the most homophobic, violent men were just covering up, for being gay.
yeah, yeah. Sadly, I know.
And I was thinking about this because I cannot wrap my head around discrimination.
Mm,
Skin color, um, especially because humans come in all sizes, shapes, and colors.
yeah,
And it's, you know, what a person looks like. I think a lot of the bigotry against gays is simply misogyny,
yeah, yeah,
because the misogynists think men are so much more important and
yeah,
above women. And the LGBTQ community, there's this juxtaposition of, if you're gay, you're less than a man, and you're doing it voluntarily. So, how, the misogynist would think, how could you do that?
yeah, yeah.
Or why would you do that? And why are you making us all look bad? Um, and that's, for that part of it, that's the best I could come up with.
Yeah, yeah. That makes sense. And but I mean, the work you're doing and everything here, you're even building out your studio and bringing this message down into Oklahoma and places where
Yes,
you can really make a difference.
running away from the bigoted states only makes them more bigoted. And yeah, as a white Wiccan woman who likes shooting off her mouth and is very good at it, I'm putting myself at risk, and I realize that. But that's the only way you can make a difference in the world.
Yeah, yeah.
Running away is and giving in to the bullies only makes the bullies worse.
Mm. No, no, I think
If
we've all seen that over the last few years.
Yeah, well, going back to World War II, if the German people had taken the Nazis more seriously and stood up to them, we wouldn't have had World War II.
Yeah,
If the other nations had stood up to Germany when they started taking power, World War II wouldn't have, it would have been a more regional
yeah,
conflict. When backing down to a bully only makes the bully worse.
yeah. I know. Sadly, sometimes I'm always reminded during politics lately that it brings us back to schoolyard of elementary school
Well,
and junior
yeah.
high. Yeah,
Um, Too many people don't realize have holes in their hearts,
yeah, yeah,
and the only way they feel better about themselves is to make other people feel worse.
yeah, yeah,
And we can't fix each other. We can only fix ourselves and control the way we react to other people.
yeah. Well, no, I think you've got a powerful message, and the work you're creating kind of lets that come through and shine. And I'm looking forward to kind of seeing some of the completely loyal to me and other work that you're going to be
Okay.
putting forward here over the next few weeks.
Well, the current script I'm working on is based on a short story I wrote back when Bush was in office.
Mm,
And back then, yeah, I wrote it because I saw what was coming now.
yeah,
And people laughed at me and said, it'll never happen. When the Supreme Court shut down Roe, I rewrote it and updated it. And within a few weeks, MAGA and the Republicans surpassed my worst case scenario.
mm,
And it's on Amazon as a Kindle. It's called "And Freedom for All: The First Shot at Fort Sumter. And it, it's on my website at Kaleidoscope Film and Television.com as a PDF for free. My goal is I want to make sure that it stays fiction instead of becoming a reality.
Yeah.
But I'm working on the script now, and it's going to be called First Shot at Fort Sumter. And it's about how we need to support each other, especially women's rights. Women's autonomy is important. It's the basis of our financial freedom.
Yeah. Yeah.
But, women are, like the Jewish community, women are the canaries in the mine. When the bullies and the racists and misogynists start taking power, we are the first, get hit first. And it just goes downhill from there.
Yeah. Yeah.
If they get their way, no one will be safe.
Yeah. No, I hear you. I understand. And so, but no, just focusing on what we've been chatting about. What I'm going to do is I'm going to make sure that all the links to everything that
Okay.
that you've been doing and everything are going to be, especially on the YouTube version where we have a lot of room for that.
Okay.
And but no, mostly I'm just really glad that you're able to take a few moments of your time and kind of just share a bit of your story here with our audience.
Okay, I'm very grateful for your help and your support. My one of my goals is to make our projects look as real as possible.
Yeah.
On the screen, which means embedding products. And even loyal to me, that said in the 1950s, I have placement for many projects that will positively promote your brand while helping us.
Yeah.
And the group that we belong to is an advertising group.
Okay.
And so I'm looking for introductions to corporations who do support diversity.
Yeah. 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 No, that's a big part of, especially on the fact that video is becoming stronger and stronger over the next, now and over the next few years. And so I think that message and brands will start to find different ways to be able to align better with that. So,
well, by embedding your product in a film and television project, it's there forever.
Yeah. Yeah.
The one project, Horses and Heroes, which supports veterans, everybody gets paid. Nobody, will be able to retire on it, but everybody gets paid well. And the entire production budget is less than what 1 week's network buy for a corporation.
Yeah.
And those products are embedded forever.
Yeah. Yeah.
And, people can't go to the bathroom during the commercial break because it's there and it's permanent.
Yeah. Yeah. No, good point. So no, I appreciate you being able to kind of share, like I said, a bit of what you're up to and the opportunities there, and look forward to being able to see where all this goes.
Okay, thank you, Matt.
Well,
I'm available anytime. Just give me the heads up and I will become all civilized and
you got it. Well, thanks again.
Okay, thank you, Matt.
So good.